Next up on the news, we had someone who had dropped their long-awaited album, Mr. Travis Scott, the man himself. He recently dropped, I believe, it was called Utopia last week.
After a 5 year hiatus from Astroworld and all of the fame and game that came
Yeah,
from, he dropped an album with a heavy feature track list. I mean, Beyonce was on
can
it,
I just say though,
which is no easy feat.
I don't mean to interrupt, but like before we even get into that, I just want to say R.I.P. to all the people who passed away during that event. First and foremost, I know like the media and stuff is not gonna bring that up. That's not gonna be really reported as much or looked at upon, especially after his rollout. But I did see stuff talking about how Houston police, the day of or the night of before Travis released his album, had released like all the information documents talking about like the people who passed away and like the people who would be charged, along with a lot of stuff that like again is going to be overlooked because it's Travis Scott, big great artist. Obviously, he's not to fully blame for that, but at the end of the day, a lot, young people lost their lives, and I think first and foremost that's the most important thing to like acknowledge and talk about before getting into this man's music.
And
But
see, he was told by, I don't exactly know who, but he was told after Drake's set the concert was over, and just the encore was told, we'll just keep it going. We're in heat. Everyone's having a good time. Let's keep it going. And ultimately, that led to just the pandemonium that was the 2 years ago in Houston. But
Wait,
now the concert in Egypt, sorry, the concert in Egypt was rescheduled. It was taken out of Egypt and sent to Italy.
mhm.
So I don't know what the development on was there. I don't know if, the pyramid site was a good spot, given, the sanctimony of the pyramids of Egypt being a tourist spot and also people not knowing how to act around there either. But Italy's an interesting choice for, a release concert.
is it me
Egypt made more
or
sense to me.
oh yeah, sorry about that. So, is it me or I feel like this nigga moved on too fast, like from all the disaster that was caused by his concert. I just feel like like niggas have like had like something big like that, almost went to prison on shit like this. He doesn't people die just because they didn't plan shit properly, and now we just want to go to Egypt doing something even bigger and crazier over there. Like
I mean, that
I
was
feel
two
like
years ago at this point. Like, if it was, 6 weeks after that happened and he dropped this album, it'd be a different story. But 2 years, a lot of time to reflect, a lot of time to, make up for mistakes. But, there's a lot that went wrong there. The event was too small, they overpacked, Travis went too long, ambulances couldn't really get in there, people, just didn't know how to act. It's a young audience, but this happens at a lot of concerts. It's not just Travis. Even if you want to go back to the '60s, people were dying every freaking concert, especially during Woodstock.
Hmm. Other
Like, it's
genres.
just a massive people. It's a massive people. Everyone's jumping up and down, having a good time, and when somebody gets hurt and it's in the middle of a crowd, you're not gonna notice because there's just a sea of people. And if someone goes down, you don't pay it any mind because 8 other people are jumping right next to you.
Absolutely.
So people are gonna get
I
hurt.
mean,
People are gonna get trampled. It's a crowd.
true. No, I think I kind of agree with what you said, but it's just like Travis Scott is known for this kind of shit. Like, it's not only this concert, bro. Like, even the previous concert that he has like done, shit went crazy as always, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even when the police was telling him, I remember there was a concert like way before that. People were saying, "Oh, you have to calm down and shit," and he wasn't. He was encouraging people
Destroyed
to do
shit. Yep.
stuff. And as a hip hop fan, bro, like I just feel like there's like some sort of like I don't know. It doesn't have consideration to the people that's coming, regardless of what happened, and it's still gonna get it done and announce that in your concert. People will still come, in like crazy crowd, you know. But I just feel like he's not really learning, you know. So I don't see how a concert in Egypt would go well either. So maybe it's just me, but I don't really know.
I just don't understand why he moved it to Italy.
No,
Wherever.
I think the authorities didn't want him to.
Mm,
Well, no, but I mean, like, sure, at the site of the pyramids of Egypt, that's a symbol of black excellence there. What's it in Egypt? What not? What's it in
I
Italy?
think
But like, why not move it back to the States? Move it to you know Tunisia. Move it to Morocco. Anywhere else, and then he just moves it to Italy.
a big.
Like, unless it's on like the flight path that it was for. Like, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's kind of
Nah,
yeah.
I was gonna just say a big part of that could just be with just PR or how however they want to market that album because obviously the team he has backing him must have some big plan. There must be some big like arenas over there or areas or events that they have, especially during this year or before the summer ends, where stuff could definitely be incorporated with his album and his rollout and kind of add to that mystique or add more to the music that he released. So just keep that in mind, I think, when looking at where he's probably going to be going or where he's going to set up shop. Because just like Astroworld or any of his previous albums and rollouts, Travis always just keeps trying to one up and just be having these overly insane, like over the top, grand arenas and setups. Because again, he's trying to just one up one after the other. Like how do you top Astro World? Like the theme, the concept.
I mean, I guess I don't know the European market like that, but I definitely know that if he's trying to go for like above and beyond, there's better places to do it other than like unless he's doing it at the Coliseum, then I can't. I guess I don't know where the Italian market is, but I'm just thinking like Monaco, Switzerland, even the United Kingdom or France, just but then he just moves it to Italy. Like I feel like Egypt was much more centralized for his audience because you got Europe, you got Asia, and then you have Africa. It's all centered right in the Middle East. But now it's just in Central Europe, and I feel like that's just catering towards only the European market.
Oh yeah, and for sure, I
Yeah.
believe there's an event. I mentioned this to y'all before, and there's an event over there called Tomorrowland, or like close over there, where like they do this big ass festival and event where it's a bunch of EDM and millions, like thousands and hundreds of thousands of people fucking accumulate over there, like go over there and just go crazy. It's a big event, like more on the other side of the world. Like Americans over here, like that, wouldn't know too much about that. But there's definitely a lot of stuff over there, like we just wouldn't be well aware of, and like there's definitely an audience over there for him to tap into. And I'm sure he knows this, his team knows this, or he wouldn't be announcing that he's going to be starting to tour over there specifically, especially after the whole Egypt thing. Because, like I said before, whatever Travis is gonna do, it has to be grand, like a spectacle, and it has to be incorporated with his music and add to it.
I mean, I'm sure whatever venue he does get into, it's going to have to be very well monitored.
Mm,
So I know how the EU works rather than the US works, and their red tape is different than our red tape. But I guarantee you, it cannot go the same way that Astroworld went. Like, can it be grand and a spectacle? Sure. Can it be to the same level that it was in Houston? No.
mm-mm.
Yeah.
But
Like, he has to up his game if he wants to make this
but
work.
kind of like you know going away from that a little bit and really going into music. What were y'all's thoughts on the album itself? How it was released, not only just the music, the song, like how did y'all feel about it? From start to finish.
As a former McDonald's worker, I have severe post-traumatic stress from Travis Scott, so I have not given it a listen yet. That's just me.
Bro.
I looked at the track list. I didn't listen to anything, but so far the critics' reviews are good, so I'll let them handle it.
I mean, when it comes to me, I can get pretty controversial about him. Um, but I think my point on this album is just like it's not an average album. Like it's kind of like slightly above. Of course, it's Travis Scott, so he's like he has talents and shit. But from what I have been analyzing from his album, it's just like I find that he cannot escape the Kanye's fingerprint on his album,
Mm.
and it feels like he's trying to do something, but it cannot be as original as it gets. So and one thing that I noticed too, this album has like a lot of people in it. Like, why is it still trying to do the same production as Kanye? The same kind of like stance. I don't know, like and even the way you're trying to like do the concerts is just like typical Kanye shit. If you think about it, um, and also there's like two different track that we can go to back, which is the track from with Drake from Astroworld,
Meltdown.
Sicko
Yep.
Mode, and the new track, and I think they make a pretty good team. So I think every time him and Drake make a music or a song, it's always it's always good. But I think the album in general is just not original enough. It's not. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But that doesn't mean that it's not a good album. It's still a pretty solid and good album that people can go back to whenever they want to listen to solid songs.
See, I can definitely agree with you on a lot of what you said, especially in regards to that Kanye statement, especially because a lot of this really did, and I'm gonna be real, like I never really listened to this album like that or even fully, but a lot of this album, from the certain songs I heard, what people played, and what I heard and listened to, this really did sound like Yeezus light, like a very Yeezus inspired like album, and you could see all of Kanye's fingerprints all over the production, the way it's set up. I even saw
Literally.
videos talking about how a lot some of these songs though they have like certain songs have track like track they'll have tracks like listenings or songs where like they have how do I'm wording it poorly. But long story short, a lot of these songs are like kind of like beginning parts or like the hooks are just throwaways from older Kanye joints, like that he just never really released, and he you can clearly see and hear certain stuff is track reference from Kanye songs, and I definitely think Travis struggles to kind of be out of Kanye's shadow in a way and be really more of his own person. He definitely has come a long way, and that's not to say he can't fully, be his own artist, but like I definitely can hear the Kanye and even like the Cuddy, the Kid Cuddy. I don't even listen to Cuddy like that. And from what I've heard from Cuddy, he really was sounding like some Kid Cuddy on a lot of these joints. Like you can hear the influence, like very much so.
I,
I don't know
I
if
mean,
I'm
oh,
right to speak on this or not, but the industry has always been the industry. It's always been, one idol replaces another. They work together for a little bit, one falters off, and a new one takes its place. Now, say what you will about Kanye, but him leaving the limelight with the controversy that he presented himself has left an open spot for a new player to come in. I believe that Travis, with this album, the one I haven't listened to, with what the two of you have said, he is trying to fill that gap. He's trying to be, the not even the next Kanye, but the next big, performer for R&B and hip hop. Like he wants to have the beats, he wants to have the flow, he wants to have, what Kanye had.
Lacking lyrical
uh,
ability.
that's kind of
Hey,
true. I mean, I think about it, bro. I have two quite. At least I have one question about this. Is he really trying to get away from it? Like I think like Matt inspiring me when you say like when a star goes and a new one comes. So I don't think he's trying to get away from that because why changing something that's working? Obviously, he has like a massive fan. He made like what
First
400K
week,
on this fucking first
yeah,
week.
obviously,
Like that's big. You know what I'm saying? Like why changing something that's working? Like I totally feel him. Like in a business standpoint, like I wouldn't change either. You know, I don't care what people are saying. People love Kanye, but some people don't fuck with Kanye because he says some crazy shit sometimes. But Travis Scott, you can get all of these in Travis Scott's music. So I mean, it's working for him. It's
The
making
times
money.
are
You know.
changing, and if he's capitalizing on Kanye's leave of absence, I mean, we'll see if EA drops a new album, if EA drops a new
I don't
project.
want
I
another
don't know
Kanye
if it's going to
album.
be received. I, I second that.
Bro, we want that Kanye. We want
Nah,
that
nah,
Kanye,
nah,
bro. We
nah.
want.
No lie, he needs to hang that shit up. Like, I'm sorry. Let me say, and I was the biggest lover of this album, but like that Donda album did not age that well. I am not going back to a lot of the joints. Maybe outside of like the Keem joint, I think it's Pray for Me or Pray, and the Pop Smoke joint that a lot of people I don't even think fucked with, but I fucked with personally. Like that's Kanye needs to just stop, drop, just stick to producing. Stick to being, with the people you want to be with. Do your own thing behind the scenes, but stop releasing music. He is far past.
Icarus flew way too close to the
He's
sun.
far past being hip or
Wait.
hop. Like literally, just no. He is no. We don't need no more Kanye joints.
Wait, hold on though. Are you which Donda are you talking about? Is it the first one or the
Does
second
it
one?
matter? The second one wasn't even released.
Bro, come
The
on, bro.
second one
Wait,
wasn't
hold
even
on. Donda.
finished or released.
Wait, it was, but like it was on the stem player. Remember, which like
Who
was like
cares?
amount like a big amount of
That's not
money, you
hip
know.
hop. That's
But
not. First of all, hold on. And now, like, as I become older and really like start to like actually become more immersed in not just like the actual music side of hip hop, but the history and what it's supposed to stand for. That shit is not at all what hip hop stands for. That's just trying to make a buck.
It's like if a tribe. It's like if a fucking Tribe Called Quest released a cassette, but you could only play it on one type of
Yeah, and
box.
it's unfinished,
Like you
and
couldn't
it's a
put it
bunch of
like
unfinished shit on said cassette with like a sprinkling some few songs that are maybe almost complete. Like,
yeah, I definitely
that was just
agree
a
with
project
you.
to say like hey, these are the songs I didn't release on the album. You could listen to it, as its own little album, but only if you buy this product that I'm sponsoring. Like it's just a cash grab for his fans. It's just like, hey, here's a little extra, but like you got to go get it over
leaving
here,
little
which is
breadcrumbs
skimming.
and building up, like making this like big like spectacle and expectations and not delivering on them. Like he himself sets
It
steps that he doesn't deliver on. He tries to build up.
it's it really just is, how far his fans will go for him. And as I've seen since his controversy, the white people are still definitely bumping his shit. But that's a different story. I'm not those people. It is just what he can get away with releasing for his benefit. Like when he first released, I can't remember which collection it was, but the Yeezy collection where a lot of those clothes were just like you know peasant colored, fucking had holes and tears and like looked worn and shit. I'm like, who the fuck is going to buy clothes that look like they've been thrown around in a New York dumpster for 10 years, and people still bought it just because it's associated with Kanye. It's that figurehead. It's that idol. You know, it's the golden cow. But at the end of the day, what sustenance does it provide? If you're making a quote unquote album and throwing it down to just certain stands, seeing if they buy it, and they buy it, does it mean it's good? or is it just because people, are just desperate for content? So
Yeah,
if he releases a new project, I will judge it against this. But as it's going right now, Travis is trying to take that spot. Travis isn't trying to take that spot. We'll see.